Targeting tax objective number 9. The student will demonstrate an understanding of percent, proportional relationships, probability and statistics in application problems. Problem number 1. Jill has a game with 2 bags of tiles. One bag has 26 tiles, with each containing a letter of the alphabet. The other bag contains 2 red tiles, 4 blue tiles, 3 green tiles, and 3 yellow tiles. If Jill draws 1 tile from each bag, what is the probability that she will draw a letter in her name and a blue tile? In the name Jill, notice that while there are 4 letters, only 3 of those letters are different. So the probability that Jill will draw a letter in her name would be 3 out of 26, since there are 26 tiles in the bag. In order to draw a blue tile, there are 4 blue tiles in that bag out of a possible 12, and you find the 12 by adding the total number of tiles together. Since it says "and," you need to multiply. Now we're going to go to the calculator to multiply these fractions together. Remember that when you input fractions to the calculator, you need to put parentheses around the entire fraction. So we've multiplied our fractions together, but when I compare what I got with the calculator to my answer choices, I see that all of the answer choices are in fractional form. So to change my answer to a fraction, I go to Math, and notice that fraction is highlighted, so press Enter. The calculator is asking you whether you want your answer in a fraction. Press Enter. So the answer I get is 1 over 26, and that choice would be choice C. Problem number 2. Of the 72 students elected to next year's student council, 62.5% were re-elected from last year. The remaining students are serving for the first time on the council. Of those serving for the first time, 1/3 of those are freshmen. Approximately how many freshmen will be serving for the first time on student council? We need to start this problem by finding 62.5% of the 72 students. Since we have the word "of," we need to multiply. And since we're multiplying, we need to change our percent to a decimal. Now, input this calculation into your calculator. And you get a value of 45. The problem then says the remaining students are serving for the first time. So to find the remaining students, we need to subtract 45 from 72. And you find that 27 students are remaining or serving for the first time. The problem then tells you that 1/3 of those students are freshmen. So in order to find 1/3 of those, since we have the word "of," we multiply 1/3 times 27. That tells us that there are 9 freshmen serving for the first time. So the answer is G. Problem number 3. The junior class has set a budget for this year's prom. The bar graph below shows the amount of money set aside for each item in the budget. The sponsor plans to make a circle graph of the data in the bar graph for a presentation to the faculty. What is the measure of the angle in degrees for the section of the circle graph that will represent decorations? First, we need to read our bar graph. According to the bar graph, they spent $750 for food, $350 for music, $700 for decorations, and $200 for invitations. So let's do the addition in the calculator to find the total amount of money that was budgeted for the prom. So the amount budgeted was $2,000. Since the problem asked about decorations, the budgeted amount for decorations was $700 out of a total of $2,000. So we need to write the ratio of 700 over 2,000. Then we need to set that equal to the amount of degrees out of 360 for the circle graph. What you have here is a proportion. To solve a proportion, you cross multiply. Now use your calculator for the multiplication. And then you need to divide by 2,000. And x here represents 126 degrees. That would be the angle necessary to show the amount of money spent on decorations in the circle graph. The skills targeted on the calculator in objective number 9 are using parentheses to input fractions. If your answer choices are all fractions and you need to change your answer to a fraction, go to Math Fraction. If you use a percent to do a calculation, you must change it to a decimal. And use your calculator to do all your calculations. This concludes Targeting Tax Objective number 9. The student will demonstrate an understanding of percent, proportional relationships, probability and statistics in application problems.